Hey, English learners, welcome back to the Talk English Class podcast.
Yeah, this is the place where you learn real English from real conversations, not from boring grammar books.
I'm Grace.
And I'm James.
So, James, how are you today?
Honestly, a little frustrated.
Frustrated? Why?
I don't know. I just feel like I just keep trying things and nothing changes.
Like you're putting in effort but not seeing results?
Exactly. Like I'm doing things, but I'm not sure if they're the right things.
Yeah, that feeling is so real.
And it makes me think, am I just wasting my time?
Wasting your time. Yeah, that phrase actually hurts when you say it out loud.
It does, because time feels so important, and wasting it feels like a big mistake.
Okay, I think a lot of our listeners feel exactly this right now.
Yeah, probably.
So let's talk about it honestly. Wasting time with English and why that guilt follows us everywhere.
Can I say something embarrassing?
Of course.
I've been studying English for almost 3 years.
3 years.
3 years. And last week, I was in a shop, a simple shop, and the person at the counter asked me something.
What did they ask?
Just a simple question. They said, "Do you have a membership card?"
Okay.
That's it. That's all they said.
And what happened?
I froze.
You froze.
I completely froze. My brain went blank. I just smiled, like an idiot.
James.
And I walked out of the shop thinking, 3 years. 3 years of English, and I couldn't answer one simple question.
That feeling, that specific moment of walking out feeling stupid, I know that feeling deeply.
Did you feel the same?
We'll talk about that. But first, I want to ask you something.
Okay.
When you walked out of that shop, what was the first thought in your head?
Honestly, I wasted 3 years.
Yeah, that sentence. I wasted my time. That sentence is so painful.
It feels like a failure.
And I think so many people listening right now, they have said that exact sentence to themselves.
Probably late at night.
Yeah, late at night, when nobody is watching.
Yeah.
So, James, tell me honestly, what were you doing for those 3 years?
Well, I watched a lot of YouTube videos,
Okay.
English grammar videos, vocabulary lists, English movies with subtitles.
And did it feel like learning?
Yes, it felt like learning every day. I felt productive,
Productive.
like I was doing something.
But when you stood in that shop,
Nothing came out.
yeah, that's an important thing to understand.
Why does that happen?
Okay, so when we watch videos, our brain feels busy. It feels like work. But watching is passive.
Passive?
Like receiving. You receive information. You don't practice using it.
Oh.
It's like watching someone swim every single day for 3 years and then jumping into water yourself.
And sinking immediately.
Yes, because watching swimming is not swimming.
That makes sense. But then, was I really wasting my time?
That's a good question. I don't think you wasted everything.
No?
You built understanding. You can understand English much better now.
That's true. I understand almost everything I hear.
Right. Your listening improved. Your understanding improved. But speaking needs something different.
What does speaking need?
Speaking needs practice under pressure.
Under pressure?
Yes, real moments, real people, real discomfort.
That word. Discomfort.
Yes, the discomfort is where the learning actually happens.
But discomfort feels so bad.
I know, it feels awful, but it's also the sign that you are growing.
I never thought about it that way.
Most people don't. We want to feel comfortable while learning,
Yes.
but comfortable learning doesn't build speaking confidence.
So the shop moment, that uncomfortable freezing moment.
That was actually closer to real learning than the videos.
That's painful to hear.
Yeah, but it's also kind of freeing.
Why freeing?
Because it means the embarrassing moments are not failures. They're actually the lessons.
Oh, so freezing in the shop was a lesson.
Yes, a very uncomfortable lesson. but still a lesson.
Okay, can I tell you another story?
Please.
So, at my job, we have short meetings every morning.
Okay.
And my manager speaks in English, and everyone answers in English.
And you?
I sit there. I understand everything. I nod my head. I smile, but I never speak.
Never.
Never once. In 8 months.
8 months of morning meetings.
And I never said one sentence.
How did that feel?
Invisible. I felt completely invisible.
Invisible. Yeah, that's such an accurate word.
Like I was there, but also not there.
Did your colleagues know how much you understood?
No, nobody knew because I never showed it.
So your English was hiding inside you.
Yes, locked inside, and I had no key.
That image. English locked inside with no key. I think so many people feel this.
Do you think so?
I know so, because I felt it too.
Really? You?
Yes. I remember being in a meeting. I had an idea. A good idea, actually.
What happened?
I started forming the sentence in my head, translating it, checking the grammar, making it perfect.
And,
By the time I was ready, the conversation had moved on.
the moment was gone.
Gone. And I just sat there quietly, with my perfect, unspoken sentence.
A perfect sentence that nobody heard.
Yes. And I felt so frustrated with myself.
What did you do after?
I thought, I wasted that moment.
Yeah.
But then I realized something.
What?
The real problem wasn't my English.
No?
The real problem was I was trying to be perfect before speaking.
Trying to be perfect.
Yes. I thought I had to say it perfectly, or not say it at all.
I do this too, all the time.
It's a trap.
A trap?
Yes, the perfectionism trap. Waiting until it's perfect. And because it's never perfect, you never speak.
So I'm not bad at English. I'm trapped by perfectionism.
Exactly. Your English is there, but perfectionism is blocking the door.
That feels more hopeful somehow.
Yeah?
Because perfectionism is something I can work on.
Right. Blocked is not broken.
Blocked is not broken. I like that.
Me too.
So wait, back to the shop moment.
Yes.
You said we'd come back to your story.
I did say that.
What happened to you in a similar situation?
Okay, so I was ordering food at a small restaurant,
Okay.
and the waiter asked me something I didn't understand.
What did you do?
I said, "Sorry, can you say that again?"
Okay.
He repeated it. I still didn't understand.
Then what?
I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that."
And?
He showed me the menu, pointed to the item, and we sorted it out.
Oh, that was it?
That was it.
That was it. I expected something terrible.
I know. We always expect something terrible.
Yeah.
But it was simple, because I used a simple phrase. Can you say that again?
That's a good phrase.
It's a very useful phrase, and nobody thinks less of you for using it.
Really?
Really? Asking for repetition is normal. Even native speakers do it.
I never thought of that.
Most learners think, if I ask again, they will think I'm stupid.
Yes, exactly that thought.
But actually, asking again shows you are trying. It shows you want to understand.
That changes how it feels.
Yeah. The phrase, "Can you say that again?" is not embarrassing. It's confident.
Okay, I'm saving that phrase.
So let's talk honestly. What does not waste your time with English?
Okay, I want to know this.
Because some things feel like learning, but they don't build speaking.
Like what?
Okay, memorizing long word lists,
Yeah,
watching grammar videos without speaking,
I did that for 2 years.
yeah, reading textbooks silently.
So, all the safe things.
Yes, the safe things feel productive, but they keep you safe from speaking.
And staying safe means staying stuck.
Exactly.
That hurts a little.
I know, but it also helps because now you know.
So, what actually helps?
Okay, number one, using English in small, real moments every day.
Small moments.
Yes, not big, perfect conversations. Small moments. Ordering coffee, saying good morning, answering one question at work.
That sounds much less scary.
Yes, start small. Very small.
Okay, what else?
Number two, stop translating before speaking.
Oh, that's hard.
I know, but translation slows everything down.
So, what instead?
Use simple words first. Don't look for the perfect word. Use the simple word you know,
Even if it's not perfect?
especially if it's not perfect.
Huh.
A simple sentence spoken is more powerful than a perfect sentence silent.
A simple sentence spoken is better than a perfect sentence silent. I really like that.
Say it again.
A simple sentence spoken is better than a perfect sentence silent.
Differently.
How?
Don't just listen passively. Listen, then pause, then repeat something you heard.
Out loud?
Out loud. Alone in your room, in the car, in the kitchen.
Even if nobody's listening?
Especially when nobody is listening. That's the safe space to practice.
That I can do.
Yes, you can do that tonight.
Tonight, okay.
Number four, make mistakes loudly.
Loudly?
Yes, when you say something wrong, don't hide it. Don't go silent. Just continue.
Just continue?
Yes, most people don't even notice the mistake.
Really?
Really. They are thinking about themselves, not about your grammar.
That's actually very true.
We assume everyone is watching our mistakes.
But they're not.
They're not.
So the embarrassment is mostly in my head.
Mostly yes.
That's a big realization, honestly.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I've been performing for an audience that wasn't really watching.
Exactly that.
And one more thing, you said 4 points.
Number four was make mistakes loudly.
Right, and that means continuing, not stopping.
Continuing even when it's imperfect, because continuing is the practice.
Stopping is the waste,
Yes, stopping is what actually wastes time,
not the mistake.
not the mistake. The stopping after the mistake.
Wow, that's different from how I thought about it.
Most people think the mistake is the problem.
But the silence after is.
Yes, the silence after is where time gets wasted.
Okay, I need a moment with that idea.
Take your time. Okay, let's do something practical now.
The exercise part.
Yes. Today, we're practicing phrases for uncomfortable moments. Moments when you freeze.
Good. I need exactly these phrases.
Okay, listener, we will say the phrase, then we will pause. You repeat out loud.
Even if you're alone, say it out loud.
Your voice needs practice, not just your ears.
Ready?
First phrase. When you don't understand something. Sorry, can you say that again? Pause.
Good, say it again.
Sorry, can you say that again? Pause. This phrase is safe. It is polite and very natural.
Second phrase. When you need more time to think. Let me think about that for a second. Pause.
Again.
Let me think about that for a second. Pause.
This phrase buys you time, and it sounds very natural. Native speakers say this too.
Third phrase. When you say something wrong. Actually, let me say that differently. Pause.
One more time.
Actually, let me say that differently. Pause.
This phrase lets you correct yourself without embarrassment. It shows confidence, actually.
Fourth phrase. When you want to keep the conversation going after a mistake. Anyway, what I meant was, pause.
Again.
Anyway, what I meant was, pause.
This phrase helps you continue, even after a mistake.
Even after confusion, you just move forward.
Moving forward. That's the whole lesson, honestly.
Yes, moving forward is the whole lesson.
Fifth phrase. When you want to show you understand. I see what you mean. Pause.
Again,
I see what you mean. Pause.
this phrase shows understanding, and it keeps the conversation natural.
These phrases are also simple
Yes, simple phrases work better than complex ones.
because you can actually use them.
Exactly. A simple phrase you use is better than a complex phrase you forget.
Yeah.
Okay, challenge time.
I like this part.
So here is your challenge for this week. Just one thing.
Just one.
Tomorrow, when you are in any situation at all, use one English phrase from today.
Just one?
Just one. Maybe with a colleague, maybe at a shop, maybe ordering food.
Even if I say it nervously?
Especially if you say it nervously.
Ha!
Because nervous and speaking is better than comfortable and silent.
Nervous and speaking better than comfortable and silent.
Write it down if it helps. Practice it alone first, and then use it once.
Just once.
Just once. And then tell us in the comments. What English moment makes you freeze? Or what situation makes your English disappear?
Tell us, because we read every comment.
And you are not alone with this feeling.
Not at all.
Every person listening right now has felt that freezing moment,
Every single one.
including us.
Yes, definitely including us. Can I say something before we finish?
Of course.
When I walked out of that shop, I felt like a failure.
Yeah.
But now, thinking about it differently, I wasn't a failure.
No.
I was just at the beginning of something.
That's a beautiful way to say it.
Not a failure, just at the beginning.
And beginning is okay. Beginning is actually brave.
Yeah, because staying home and watching videos, that's easy.
Going into the shop, even if you freeze, that's the brave part.
That's the real learning.
Exactly. So, if you froze today, if your English disappeared, if you smiled silently when you wanted to speak,
That's okay.
that moment is not wasted time.
That moment is the lesson.
The uncomfortable lesson, but still a lesson.
Your English is not gone.
It's not broken,
It's just waiting,
waiting for you to trust it a little more.
little by little,
Every day.
one phrase at a time.
Don't waste another day staying silent,
Your voice matters,
even when it shakes.
especially when it shakes.
Keep going
We'll be here.
every step.